everybody, and welcome back to the Chilluminati podcast, episode 250. Boys, episode 250 we made. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mike Martin, joined by the Klaatu and Helen of LA, Jesse and Alex.
Klaatu and Helen?
Yeah.
I feel like a Klaatu. I think I'm a Klaatu.
From the day the earth stood still?
You got it, Butter.
Butter? Just call
Buster,
me Butter?
I think was what I was hoping to hit out.
You got it, Butter.
You got it, Butter. I'm just in Texas too long.
Because I want to spread you all over my toast.
Oh my God.
Baby.
Happy episode 250, my new nickname.
That's just Alex from now on.
I hope that just takes over Alex. Like, I hope I'm just Butter Fasciani now.
We're just going to call you Butter from now on?
Yeah.
Because you're so smooth.
Yeah.
And creamy.
Alex Butter. You got to hit that like foghorn leghorn. That
and
butter.
You melt when hot.
Yeah.
Melt so nicely all over my buns.
White bread.
If I'm being real, I'm duck fat. I'll just let that land.
I don't really know how to, I don't know. Do you spread duck fat on toast?
Yeah, no, I do though.
Ooh.
He's grossed out, but I do. I really do.
I don't know if I would like that. What does it taste like?
It tastes like a better version of butter, bro. There's lots of different kinds of mysteries out there. Let's put it that way.
There certainly are.
There's lots of different kinds of mysteries out there, and you should try duck fat on toast. Or if you don't want to do that, head on over to patreon.com/Chilluminati where you can try supporting us with money because it helps us make the show the way we want instead of having to like worry about SEO and dumb crap like that. Isn't that cool?
It's
nice?
the duck fat of Patreon.
It really is. It's not what you'd expect. It's not what you'd expect. But when you go on there and you see that ad-free episodes, you see the mini-sodes, all those. How many are there that are not out? So many.
About almost 2 years worth.
Yeah. There's 52 weeks in a year. We're talking 100 episodes. Some of them are like as long as episodes. Like no bullshit.
It really is a problem. There's no way we could actually catch you up. If you're listening right now and you're not on Patreon,
yeah, you're way behind.
You'll never catch up.
If you're sitting there and you're like at the end of the Chilluminati and you're like, do I listen to the whole thing over from the beginning? Fuck that. Go on Patreon and listen to 100 episodes of the show that you haven't heard before.
Or listen to the episode again, then go onto Patreon.
Listen to them both at the same time.
Or buy
one in each ear.
Buy 5 Chilluminati t-shirts. That's another thing you can do.
That's great. That's another good way.
But there's also our Rotten Popcorn show on there on the Patreon. That's like Mathis showing us his like disgusting menagerie of movies that he keeps in a drawer, and us trying to show him what real art is. And speaking of real art, Studio Melectro, the greatest like monthly art that you can get online. It's so sick. It has such a vibe. It's really cool shit. She always does something that I don't expect, and it always looks awesome. And you too can have all those things and more. And what did we say we were going to change the $10,000 tier to?
We said we're going to change it to something cool. Listen to the last episode to find out.
It was something that you wanted. Something like, let's go on a road trip, tricking everybody into paying for a vacation that we'll film in return. I don't remember what, but it was some kind of paranormal.
It was like very exciting. Yeah, it was
some kind of paranormal barbecue vacation.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was in the range of travel and or owning a house. Yeah. It was like one of those.
Yeah, one of those things.
Boys,
I'm
gonna have to interrupt for a second and say I need to step up. I see ants on my floor, and I'm on the second floor of my house. So I just need to figure out where the fuck they're coming from.
My man's got an infestation.
No, there's like it's not like a fuck ton. I see like 3 or 4, and I can see a little trail, and they're going into my closet, which has 0 food. So I don't know.
You gotta cinnamon up those holes.
Keep selling Patreon, because with your Patreon, I can buy cinnamon to get the shit out of here.
Yeah, with your Patreon, you can help him not have ants.
Yeah, we can cinnamon up Mathis's holes today at patreon.com/Chilluminatipod, where you can stop the ants from crawling into our hosts' actual homes just by supporting us with your money.
I don't have ants.
Jesse doesn't have ants. He lives in a great. He lives like by the water. It's very ant unfriendly. It's very salty over there. Not a lot of stuff for ants. I'm going to stay on this topic until we find out whether or not Mathis's house is infested with ants. He is gone from sight. I see
He has left. The only image that I see right now.
Santa pajamas? What is that?
The only thing I see in his room is a giant UFO poster.
They're coming in the window, motherfucker. Hang on.
Okay, he went.
They're coming in the
gone.
window.
It feels like
help. Go to patreon.com/Chilluminati and help him fortify his windows from the ant invasion. They have heard inside he's got the good sugar, and they're trying to get in there.
Cinnamon up that boy's holes.
Yeah, they have heard the word is spread to back to the colony.
The queen has a bloodlust for human flesh, and Mathis is going to pay the tax.
She has decreed.
It's not a joke.
Mathis must be feasted upon.
Yeah, they're gonna get the boy.
Those are the scouts. That 2 or 3.
Help us out. We need you on Patreon, please.
The real question is, are they ants or secret government drones sent to spy on him because he knows too much?
Sometimes he makes me feel like I'm on the Muppet Show in real life, and then he uses the webcam screen as like a camera lens. He came in, he like spun around. First he revealed first that by coming into the background with his butt to us that he was wearing Santa pajamas. And then he like did a spin around into the chair, picked up his headphones, said, "They're coming in the windows, motherfucker," and then spun out of the frame in the other direction. Just now came back. I don't know what he's doing now.
Walked by, spun his chair 360 for no reason.
On the case.
Went to the window. We can't see what's going on. Although I will say, there does appear to be a giant hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Do you see that? It's a perfectly circular. I don't know what that is. Is it a cat? Something for cats?
I think it might be a cat home. I don't know what's going on there. He's really got like a vibe going on right now.
He's now showing us ground cinnamon.
He's got it.
I cinnamoned the window.
All right, no, hold on. Time out.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah, you did it.
All right.
What do you mean you cinnamon the? When you say I cinnamon the window,
up the window and I sprinkled cinnamon all along the edges, and then I shut the window.
Yeah, that's perfect. Ants hate cinnamon. That's my old wives' remedy that I got for you.
You know, if you were a real son of a bitch, you would go out and buy a shaker of cinnamon sugar and put it on the windowsill. So those bastards would be like, "Let's go, boys!" And they'd all die. That's the worst trap you could do.
Does cinnamon kill them?
No, they just.
I don't know. I have no clue. I just think it'd be brutal to be like, "You want this sugar?"
That's like giving them like. That's like giving them like a addictive drug that will kill them. That's spice.
I think I got the scouts. I think I caught it early because there's only a few of them, and I like stomped on the ones that squished.
I'm glad you handled it, and I hope that was funny enough of a bit that it stays in the episode.
If not, yeah, Dean gets to decide. Thank you so much to Stamps.com for sponsoring today's episode. Listen, I'm busy all the dang time. And just part of working a job that I love just means I'm doing it all the time. So I'm always looking for what is essentially like a no-brainer decision. Something that I can just not have to think about and it's taken care of for me. Something like ordering food if I'm super busy and can't cook, or using a package server, a meal service, along those things. And Stamps.com is that for me, for my small business, when it comes to having to take care of my mail and priorities. For me, it streamlines my processes and makes my business way more efficient, freeing me up to do a lot of bigger stuff, make the bigger decisions rather than worrying about time to run over to the post office for 10 minutes and wait in line just to get something. It's a pain in the butt is what I'm trying to tell you. So if you are also a business owner, let me help you make a no-brainer decision. Stamps.com. It's also great for other people, don't get me wrong, but this is a great no-brainer decision for you. You can mail checks, invoices, legal documents, books, everything you need to keep your business running. Seamlessly connect with every major marketplace and shopping cart if you sell online, and access the USPS and UPS mailing services you need to run your business right from your computer or phone at any time, day or night. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. So just make the same no-brainer decision as over 1 million other businesses with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code CHILL for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale with no long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code CHILL. Thank you so much to Stamps.com for sponsoring today's episode.
I can't wait for the message that's like, they just stalled for so long and nothing was talked about.
Real episode starts at 37:41. I don't actually even know what the topic is today, which is
no, none of you do. It's a great surprise for me.
Is the surprise that there is no topic and that you're just going to try?
There's no topic. It's episode 250. We're not doing anything.
You're going to try and trick us into like not starting the show for as long as possible with as many like weird things that happen around your house as
Dude,
possible.
that's a great like April Fool's like thing to do.
Hold on. Sorry. My cats are having a war. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Gotta get up. Sorry. No, it's episode 250 and a bunch of stuff has happened in the world of the UFO world. Many things that's really interesting, like the most recent thing with what do you call it? Lou Elizondo and Greenwald of Black Vault, who's a guy who FOIA documents over 20 years basically and just stuffs them in the Black Vault online so you can go over them, just kind of keeps them from public. And the whole time he's always said that Lou Elizondo's con man. He's lying about ATIP. He's lying that he was never in charge of it, that he was ever in charge of it. And then a few days ago, Greenwald got in one of his FOIA requests an email from within the Pentagon, some higher ups that not only mention Lou Elizondo as head of ATIP, but also Lou Elizondo handing over ATIP to the next person who would take it over, which was Tipton, and confirming that he was going through all the right, procedures to do so. And so Greenwald is now sat with two separate Pentagon pieces of information from the Pentagon FOIA requested that say two totally different things. So one way or another, we know the Pentagon's lying about Lou Elizondo in one way. Either the emails are fake that he just got or whatever, or the other things are lying. And then he got confirmed later on that day from the DOD that email that he got, he was not supposed to get. That was a slip up. That was not supposed to be given to him by the FOIA whatever.
What's the legality on that? Like, if it's out, it's out.
It's too late now. Yeah, it's out. It's out there. Yeah, they're fucked up. They fucked up. It's out. That's out there.
Wow. Okay.
Nothing they can do about it now.
Oh my God.
It doesn't prove everything Lou has ever said is true. That doesn't at all mean this, because Lou Elizondo has made some wild claims out there and that I do not necessarily believe. But it does seem to add to the credibility that he was in fact head of ATIP and that he in fact did resign and hand it over to somebody like he had been saying. So it's just weird. Crazy cool stuff like that. And then quantum stuff, which we're going to talk about in the minisode later after this one about the warp drive kind of scientific discovery, which is really cool. But in celebration of that, we're doing back-to-back alien episodes. They're not a part one and a part two. They're going to be totally two separate topics.
Exciting.
This week is all about a topic that we've already kind of covered in depth, Roswell, but not Roswell specifically, but the secret government project that followed Roswell, known as Project Serpo. Are you boys at all familiar with Project Serpo?
Is this the folder and the filing cabinet filled with alien stuff that was moved around since the 40s? We kind of touched on it in Battelle.
No, this came around 2005 from 40 anonymous emails that there's no way to prove are remotely true.
Oh, delightful. All right. Buckle up.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it takes things that the story starts in the 40s, of course. Like it kind of starts way back. We could even go all the way back to the Thule Society and proto-Nazi Germany, and it kind of technically starts there. But it's just a long history that's not really relevant to anything that's actually happening here. And then next week we'll have a special guest with us that we'll be covering the Travis Walton abduction in depth next week. So if you want to watch a movie that's related to that, Fire in the Sky, I believe it's what the movie is called.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen that?
I have seen bits of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
I watched it in college for some reason. I don't remember why.
Huh. That movie is based on the Travis Walton story, and they made the abduction scenario as close to as he described it as possible. So it's a really unsettling abduction scene, which is what I've basically seen of the whole thing. So if you want that, that's going to be next week, and we'll have Aaron Hansen of the Game Grumps joining us for that. He has I guess he's seen a UFO on the back of a truck at some point in Florida. That's all I know. So
let's go.
We'll see what that's about. I'm very excited.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
love a good personal story.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what that's about. But this week is Project Serpo, all about Project Serpo. And if you don't know what Project Serpo is, well, don't you worry. I'm going to guide you through this incredibly real, totally factual, not at all made up for some reason story that has basically two main sources. The two main sources I'm using are a book called Secret Journey to Planet Serpo, a true story of interplanetary travel by Len Kasten.
Planet Serpo? Really?
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
The planet's called Serpo?
The planet is called Serpo. You do have an issue?
It sounds like like a lubricating oil from like 1936
Serpo?
that you had to go buy. Yeah,
A Serpo
that you had to go buy
lubrication oil.
to make your tractor fucking run or some shit. I don't know.
Lube up your tractor, made by Mengele's family at the time because they owned all that farm equipment back then historically.
What? Lube up your Mengele brand tractor with Serpo oil.
All right, am I wrong? Is it not Mengele who had the family who owned and created all that farm equipment that then had to like rename their farming equipment after Nazis, like after World War II?
Oh, I do not know.
You're saying that like I learned that the same time I learned about World War II. Like I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Mengele. Yeah. He had a farming
That's
equipment.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, he was a farming, like his whole family had farming equipment. Like they had to, like, that was their whole shtick. That's not what we're talking about today. No. We're talking today about Project Serpo. Serpo is not an oil that you lubricated your 1930s robot with. No, Project Serpo was an agreement between the US government and an alien government where we would send 12 of our best off to planet Serpo for an amount of time, which we'll get to, where they would essentially be like, what do you call it? What do you like? Students?
Stargated?
Like, no, like students, like not transplant students.
Oh, like a exchange student.
Yes, like an exchange student. That's pretty much the gist of Project Serpo. So we'll get to it because we're really not starting in Project Serpo. We're rewinding back to Roswell. We're starting in New Mexico, 1947, after the sun is dipped well below the horizon and the long shadows quickly give way to night. A rancher by the name of Mac Brazel is making his rounds when he stumbles upon a site that would forever change the course of history. You should all remember this from the Roswell series, but he, scattered across his sheep pasture amidst the tumbleweeds and cacti, saw a wreckage of twisted metal and strange symbols. And it's unlike anything that he had ever seen before, a technological marvel that seemed to defy explanation. The air crackled with like an eerie energy, and a sense of otherworldly awe washed over him. And amongst the wreckage were bodies, beings that lied about. Now, the word of the flying disc crash spreads quickly like wildfire through the small town of Roswell. Locals gather, whispering in hushed tones. Newspapers launch articles before they are forced to correct the article by the government. The military quickly arrives after a couple days. Their demeanor tense and secretive, and they cordon off the area, shooing away curious onlookers and confiscating any evidence that they could find. The official story, released to a skeptical public, claims it was a mere weather balloon that had malfunctioned. We're all very familiar with the story, and I think we all know that even if you don't believe it was alien, it might have just been a foreign piece of technology spying on us. It definitely wasn't a fucking weather balloon. And regardless of what the government said, though, the whispers persisted, fueled by eyewitness accounts of unearthly materials, indecipherable markings, and even rumors of alien bodies being whisked away under cover of darkness. And in the shadows, a clandestine operation is immediately set into motion following this crash. The recovered debris is transported to a secret facility where scientists and engineers work tirelessly to unravel its secrets, and if you believe this is true, are still trying to figure that shit out to this day. The truth, they discover, is far more extraordinary than anyone could have imagined. This wasn't a weather balloon, but a spacecraft, a vessel from another world, and it carries within it the potential to reshape our understanding of the universe and reality.
So this is from 2005?
The origin of the story is from 2005, from 40 emails anonymously sent to the individual who put this all together, essentially.
And they're still hitting us with the weather balloon cover-up story?
I genuinely don't know. Yeah, I guess in 2005 they're talking about it for sure. I don't know if that's the case still today. I imagine it is.
I just got like a great idea for an episode of Chilluminati that's just all about weather balloons. Like an episode
just
of
literally like an educational episode about weather balloons and how exactly they work.
It should be about what weather balloons actually are and all the things that people have said are weather balloons and whether or not they could be weather balloons.
Okay. You know what? Put that episode together and let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so common.
I mean, you would have to start with every conceivable type of weather balloon, when they were used, how often they were used, how many existed, then where they were used, and if any were used in the vicinity, like books have been written on the subject that, like, good luck, buddy.
Yeah, it would be like a 6 or 7 parter.
A 6 or 7 parter of a 2-parter of an 8-part cryptography.
Right.
Like,
Don't worry about that. This would be very straightforward. No jokes about this one.
No, okay.
This would just be about weather balloons.
Okay, no, if you say so.
Yeah.
After this 1947 crash, There was another, 1949, which we also talked about, the crash at Corona. It happened in 1949 when another mysterious object plummets to Earth, this time near Corona, California. The military response is even more secretive this time, with the wreckage quickly whisked away to a hidden location.
That's not that far from here.
Now, how far away is Corona from where you guys are in LA? Yeah.
It's like a little bit past Disneyland.
Yeah, like 2 hours?
Not that far.
That's actually not that bad.
Not even. Like an hour.
Yeah, okay. You guys maybe...
This man not accounting for traffic.
We could totally... Yeah, well, that's true. We could totally go there.
That's cool. We should. I mean, we'd probably be escorted off the military base very quickly, but it'd be cool to go.
Yeah.
We could go to Miguel's and get a trash burrito at least.
Oh, hell
Garbage
yeah.
burrito? What are they called?
I don't know. I never heard of it, but a trash burrito sounds good. Besides, the government obviously trying to keep it secret. Rumors obviously still leak out. And whispers of another alien spacecraft, this one intact and containing living beings. The government, of course, denied everything, but the seed of suspicion was already planted. 2 crashes in 2 years. And for a lot of people, this is hard to dismiss as a mere coincidence. And behind closed doors, the government establishes a brand new project, one shrouded in secrecy and fueled by a burning desire to understand these otherworldly visitors. They call it, quote unquote, Project Gleam, a code name chosen to reflect the glimmer of hope that this encounter could bring to humanity. The aliens are held in a secure facility, their existence known only to a select few, and scientists and linguists are working tirelessly to try and establish communication with the one living being that they had been able to whisk away. Now, going forward, known as EBE-1. And what they quickly learn when they finally are able to make some sort of communication with him is that while, yes, he was part of the ship and knows how the ship works, he was actually just an engineer and he has no idea why they were here at Earth at all. He just survived the crash. He was there to make sure the ship ran, and then that's it. So he had
he's bad at his job, is what you're saying. Like he's
bad at his job and gave us no good information.
Right.
Yeah. The aliens are, again, the bodies are also held in a secure facility, and they're hoping to just try and unlock the secrets of this advanced technology and knowledge they'd suddenly had at their fingertips.
Is the story that this dude is EB? I'm going to call him EB.
Yeah, EB1.
Is EB still alive?
We'll get to that, but
okay.
We'll get to that. Just let the story take you for a minute here.
I'm letting. I was just you paused.
Now, this story, Project Serpo, as well, is also supposedly the true inspiration for Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and that he was directly involved with Project Serpo and got access to documents of what actually went down. Spielberg, yeah. Now we do know he had J. Allen Hynek with him, and that he knew about Project Blue Book, but apparently also knew about Project Serpo. So throw that in there.
Okay.
So yes, in the depths of the secret facility, the lone survivor from the Corona crash became known as EBE-1 or EB-1, as the alien was designated, was a being of extraordinary intelligence and resilience. Despite the trauma of the crash and the strangeness of its surroundings, it seemed to very quickly adapt to its new reality at the clutches of human hands. I imagine we're not keeping him in the most luxurious of confines, probably being kept in like a cube. Scientists and linguists flocked to the facility, eager to communicate with this visitor from supposedly another star system. And at first, progress was slow. But EB-1, with its innate curiosity and desire for connection, proved to be a remarkably cooperative subject. Through a series of intricate diagrams, gestures, and eventually a rudimentary form of communication, EB-1 revealed a wealth of information about its home planet, named Serpo. It described a world both familiar and alien, a place of Yeah, go ahead, Alex. Yeah.
I just like the description. That's all. A world both familiar and alien makes me think of that Guardians of the Galaxy movie where it's like suburban 80s Earth, but they're just like animals.
Yeah. Hang on to that thought. Minus the fact that they're all animals. Minus the fact that it's all animals.
So just 1980s suburbia?
Just 1980s, suburbia.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
They got their rudimentary language set up, and he started talking about Serpo. They started learning about Serpo. And like I said, both familiar and alien. It has 2 suns, unique flora and fauna, and a civilization far more advanced than humanity here on Earth. EB-1's cooperation, though, didn't stop there. It provided insights into the advanced technology that we had recovered from the wreckage, explaining the purpose of various devices and even demonstrating how some of them worked. It was like a crash course in kind of alien engineering, you can think of it. Like he was just fine. He was totally fine just kind of explaining how things work, which you would think the government would have maintained that knowledge in some way and, applied it to all the other things that they, have supposedly recovered and can't figure
Not
out.
if it's a secret, baby. Compartmentalization. It's all part of the design, bro. They're covering it up.
Yeah, so he provided insight into advanced technology, explaining the purpose of various devices, even demonstrating how some of them worked. But perhaps the most significant revelation came when EB1 expressed a willingness to facilitate further contact with his home world. So he's like, yeah, I can reach out. Yeah, I'll call home. No problem. Let's chat. So EB1 spoke of an exchange program, a chance for humans to visit Serpo and learn from its advanced civilization. Do you see the end of Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Yeah, no, I get it. Wait, so you know what? I'm gonna let you do this, but
No, ask away. Go ahead, ask away. I'm here. I'm your Sherpa of Serpo.
All right.
Serpo.
Part
Sherpo.
of me,
You're his
part of
Sherpo.
me wants to ask you.
I'm your Sherpo.
Part of me wants to ask you: is this a thing that we're planning? But part of me also knows that you're about to say it already happened, and I
Damn
hate
right it
that.
already happened. Damn right it already happened. I'm gonna tell you.
You know what? I'm not. You know
all
what?
about it.
I got yelled at on Reddit for.
Did you?
For blocking you and your
How
stories.
dare you?
But right now, I want to say, for the record, no fucking way.
Keep blocking me, bro. It's part of the charm. I need you to keep my
No,
ego
I
in
need to
check.
hear this. I need to hear this nonsense.
We started with 40 emails that there's no way to prove are true. So
Yeah. If you buy into this, you should probably
That's
listen to
on
the
you.
lands beyond the ice walls of Earth.
Do we have another one? Did they bring another ship? You know what? No, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you go.
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 We're only at the part where he's willing to facilitate communication with his home planet.
Okay.
So, yeah, it spoke of an exchange program, a chance for humans to visit Serpo and learn from its advanced civilization. And this was a turning point, a moment of unprecedented opportunity for the human race as a whole. The government, initially hesitant, eventually did agree to the proposal. They saw the potential benefits of such an exchange, a chance to acquire new technologies, expand their knowledge of the universe, and perhaps even forge a peaceful alliance with an extraterrestrial species. The seeds of Project Serpo were sown, a bold and audacious endeavor that would push the boundaries of human exploration and challenge everything that we thought we knew about our place in the cosmos. And I even have we're not going to go through it all, but there's little journal entries that we supposedly got pictures of. I have a list of all the things they brought on their journey for supplies as well that we'll talk about. It's a really, it's fun. That's 1949. This idea quickly takes place as they talk to EB over about a year or two. And now we're going to move to 1954, about 5 years after the second crash. And in 1954, the Cold War casts a really kind of new ominous shadow over the world of another potential hot war. But behind closed doors in the highest echelons of power, a different kind of conflict is brewing, one that could alter the course of human history forever. President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a man known for his calm demeanor and strategic mind, finds himself facing a decision of unprecedented magnitude. EB1, the alien ambassador from Serpo, I should probably tell you, the Zeta Reticuli system, of course, has extended an invitation for a human delegation. Yet the planet Serpo is within the Zeta Reticuli system. Yeah, Jesse, you look very confused. I'd like to help.
I'm going to look this up. Is Zeta Reticuli the binary star system? I'm going to look this up.
I believe. Yes, it is the binary. Because remember, his planet has 2 stars. So yes, Zeta Reticuli is the binary star system.
I feel like I'm going to look this up to verify it, but I feel like those are technically newer stars than the sun.
Maybe. I have no idea. Actually, that's a good idea. And I wonder when we learn that too.
I just want to point out for the record, they're faster and better than us. In this story, I mean, they became a society faster, better, and learned to travel faster than us.
Hey, man, all it takes is a species not willing to bomb themselves out of existence every 20 years or so. It might not take much. Where would humanity be if we weren't at war all the time?
What kind of fucking pro-war machine speech is this?
Pro-war machine? It's anti-war machine. It's an anti-war machine. We'd be in so much further along without war. That's what I'm saying. That's why these guys are better than us, because they might not have war. They might just be pure scientific beings.
I do have a lot of questions. According to Wikipedia, Zeta Reticuli, 39 light years from Earth, and it has many asteroids, but doesn't appear to have any planets. Although
Planet Serpo's in there.
The first Alien and the movie Prometheus took place there. So
soft disclosure, baby. Soft.
There you go.
Disclosure.
So
You think that planet with that naked, white-skinned, like marble statue, like big giant nose man, that was Serpo?
I mean, well, one of them was Earth, I think, but I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Prometheus is a great movie to get high and just watch.
The first
I've
half.
actually never seen Prometheus. So.
Dude, let's do it on Rotten Popcorn. That would be.
I'd love to.
You'll
Jesse's
get
next
scare
to
the
choose,
shit
though.
out of you.
We owe Jesse a video. Apparently, we did
Thank
not
God.
give him.
I don't want to watch that weird birthing scene. I'm all right.
Back to President Dwight D. Eisenhower. So yes, EBE's the alien ambassador from the Zeta Reticuli star system has extended an invitation for a human delegation to visit the home planet Serpo. It's a gamble, a leap of faith into the unknown, but Eisenhower, ever the visionary that he was, sees the potential rewards outweighing the risks. And in a clandestine meeting at Edwards Air Force Base, you remember the rumor of we talked about Eisenhower going to meet an alien on the Air Force Base before?
This is that alien?
This is one of the
Serpish.
explanations that this is what
He's
this alien
Serpian.
is. There's many different explanations and actually different
He was
aliens.
meeting with the Serpwegian.
Some say Eisenhower this is where the contract was made, where Greys could go and abduct humans at an X number per year that they're supposedly breaking, but we can't stop them anyway. But this is another explanation as well for this.
I was just saying that what if, like, you know, like how we were talking about how aliens, like, sometimes maybe are like a being that, like, we think what they are, and then that's what we see them as.
Yeah. What's that? That's from Asari. Those are the Asari in Mass Effect.
Yeah, like what if this story is like it's all one being, but it's like everybody saw what they saw. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. How do you know your red's my red, dude?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Eisenhower saw a Serpian dude, and maybe the guy watching him meet saw.
You think the Serpians, or you like your Serpoans?
Serpwegians.
Ooh, I like it. Serpwegians. Hopefully they don't get too mad about us calling them that. In a clandestine meeting at Edwards Air Force Base, Eisenhower and a select group of advisors met with what they were now calling the Ebans. EBENS. This is just kind of what they codenamed them.
That's even worse.
Incredible. So they're there. Oh yeah, so they're now the Ebans. They're there with a delegation of Ebans. So Jesse, that answers your question. He reached out to his planet. They sent a ship with Ebans to arrive at the Air Force Base and meet with the president. And now you might be asking, well, what do they look like? Well, they look like what you expect them to look like. They have large heads. They're kind of short, large almond-shaped eyes, slender bodies. They exude an aura of just like intelligence. So your typical Greys. They look like your typical Greys.
So this then goes against the common notion that Greys are subservient to tall whites.
Correct. This is a totally different take on what the Greys are. And the only place in any UFO like lore or history where this is how the Greys are described. There's no other place that describes the Greys like super nice and like come hang out on planet Serpo. The negotiations are supposedly intense. The stakes for humanity are just very, very high. But after hours of intense discussions, a tentative agreement is finally reached. The Ebans will provide the means for a small group of humans to travel to Serpo. In return, the humans will share their knowledge of Earth's culture, technology, and history. It's a culture, kind of like a cultural exchange that, you know, of just like, again, that exchange student situation. A diplomatic mission that could pave the way for a new era of cooperation between two vastly different civilizations. But the risks are undeniable. The journey to Serpo, 37 light years away, will be long and arduous. The Ebans' motives are still kind of unclear, and there's no guarantee of the astronauts' safe return. Yet Eisenhower believes the potential gains are too great to ignore. So the decision is made. Project Serpo is a go. The government initiates a top-secret program to select and train a team of astronauts for this unprecedented mission. They are chosen not just for their physical and mental fortitude, but also for their diverse skill sets and unwavering curiosity. We're talking scientists, engineers, linguists, and soldiers, all united by a shared sense of adventure and a thirst for knowledge. The training is rigorous and demanding, supposedly, pushing them to the human limits of endurance. The astronauts learn to adapt to a simulated alien environment that they've built for them, grapple with complexities of Eban language and culture and like a prep program, and prepare for the unknown challenges that'll await them when they finally do land on this distant world.
When you say language and culture, is the implication then that instead of the aliens that are like, I'm talking to you in your brain, these dudes mouth move and they're like, hey, it's me, Eban one.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of vocal, but there's a lot of telepath stuff. Like a lot of they'll touch their heads and like images will happen. But
how do you train that then?
I don't know. What do you put them in a room with the EB man and let him just like touch the head?
I guess that could be like you don't need to have a linguist.
But they also remember there is a written language and like a vocal language as well that they were taught, like because that's part of even just like I don't know how do you teach somebody? I'm sure somebody who listens to our podcast can answer the question. How do you teach somebody telepathy? Just let us know at chilluminatipod@gmail.com.
I mean, if you could, it would have been done already. I'm just saying.
Or they're being kept secret from us by the government for our own something. I couldn't think of anything.
I mean, you were working on it.
Yeah, man, my brain was just pushing, bro. It was pushing.
Yeah.
So the decision made, Project Serpo's going. They've got, all those groups of people, engineers, linguists, scientists, soldiers, and the training of their both telepathic communication, physical communication. We're talking also just endurance tests, all that stuff. And as the launch date finally approaches, a sense of anticipation and trepidation fills the air. The world remains oblivious to the monumental event about to unfold, unaware that a group of ordinary humans are about to embark on an extraordinary journey, one that will forever alter our understanding of our place within the universe. And they also started calling this project also Project Crystal Night, but we will continue to refer to it as just Project Serpo for now, but it's another code name that they layered on top of it. It's Project Crystal Night.
N or KN?
KNI.
You know what? I like it.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit.
All right. All right. It's like a comic book now, too.
Absolutely.
Crystal Night.
Yeah.
All right.
With the green light from the highest office in the land, the covert gears of Project Serpo began to turn. The task was monumental to prepare a dozen humans for a journey into the unknown, a voyage that would test their limits and challenge their perceptions of reality. The military combed through its ranks, seeking individuals who possessed not only the physical and mental fortitude of astronauts, but also the intellectual curiosity and adaptability of explorers. Scientists, engineers, linguists, medical professionals, and even a few soldiers with specialized skills were handpicked for this extraordinary mission. And training began in a secluded facility, hidden away from prying eyes. It was a crash course in the bizarre and the unfamiliar. The astronauts in training, dubbed the Serpo 12, delved into the intricacy of Eban language, and don't shake your head, Eban language and culture, their days filled with strange vocabulary drills, simulated social interactions. Can you imagine that being put in a room and there's a couple of humans just dressed up as aliens and they're like, okay, in this social situation, this guy spilled his drink and you accidentally farted, and farting on the planet can get you killed. How are you going to get out of it? And I don't know, maybe it's like an improv situation.
Can it get you killed? Like we don't even
farting on the planet can get you killed.
I'm practicing my improv.
The implication that they have butts is also new to me.
True. They shouldn't have, but I don't think they have. They're not supposed to have butts.
They shouldn't have butts. They're not supposed to have butts.
Yeah. That's common gray knowledge.
Why did they use the name Serpo if they were going to you repeat it so often? It's just such a bummer. The Serpo 12, they could be called the Chosen.
The Crystal Knights, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was going to say. They could just call themselves the Crystal Knights.
Exactly.
Done. But no, they're the Serpo 12.
Is Final Fantasy soft disclosure?
I think it might be.
Oh my God.
Fuck. So yeah, they get to delve into the intricacies of Eban language and culture, doing those simulated social interactions and even attempts to decipher their enigmatic writing system. Physical conditioning was equally intense as the astronauts prepared for a gravity environment different from Earth's and an atmosphere with a unique composition. They spent hours in centrifuges, acclimating their bodies to the G-forces they would experience during space travel. They practiced wearing bulky. You got a problem? The science checks out, Jesse.
You got a problem?
That's how science works.
I mean, I guess I have a question about the Serpians' space travel capabilities.
Yeah.
Is this?
Hang on to that thought.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. What I love about this is it's so completely every other space travel is we got aboard a spaceship and we blasted off into space and it was like we were barely moving and suddenly we're in another world. And this one's no, dude, G-forces.
Yeah, that's how you know it's real, bro.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
That's why you know those 40 anonymous emails were from a true source. He mentions G-forces. They also practice wearing bulky protective suits designed to shield them from Serpo's harsh radiation. But the most challenging aspect of the training was the psychological preparation. The astronauts knew that they were venturing into the unknown, a world filled with unfamiliar sights and sounds and sensations. So They had to learn to trust their instincts, adapt to unforeseen circumstances, and maintain their composure in the face of the unknown. Through it all, a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose grew among the Serpo 12. They were a team, bound together by a mission that transcended national borders and earthly concerns. They were the pioneers of a new frontier, the first humans to step foot on another world. I can't imagine being one of the Serpo 12. I'd probably be trying to ask them to change it to the Crystal Knights, though.
The Serpo 12, dude.
I think if this is real, I think
like there's the Majestic 12. The Majestic 12 sounds way cooler.
Majestic,
yeah,
but
way
that's
cooler.
because it's like,
and that's been around since the 80s.
Yeah, the Serpo 12 is like
Serpo 12 is 05.
It's almost copying it. It's kind of lame, yeah.
So yeah, they got a bound by camaraderie, get to do this new frontier, and as the training intensified, so did the excitement anticipation. The launch date drew closer, and the world remained blissfully unaware of the extraordinary endeavor about to unfold. The Serpo 12, the chosen few, stood on the precipice of history, ready to embark on a journey that would redefine humanity's place. Now, the year is 1965. We push forward a good 10 years, or a good 12 years, rather. The world is a powder keg of political tension, with the Vietnam War escalating and the Cold War threatening to boil over. But in a remote corner of the United States, a secret mission is about to launch after 12 years of preparation, one that will change the course of human history. In the Serpo 12, the handpicked team of astronauts have completed their grueling training.
Why did it take so long? 12 years?
I can imagine, dude, training to go live on another planet that's just genuinely alien. It's radiation everywhere. You have to learn a language, social customs, all kinds of shit.
But 12 years is a long time to...
That's why they call it the Serpo 12, bro.
Never mind, I'm back in.
Yeah, these guys, all handpicked, have completed their training. They're as prepared as they can be for the journey ahead, which would be a 10-month voyage to a planet orbiting a binary star system 37 light years away, Serpo, the home planet of the Eban. So there you go, Jesse. It's going to take 10 months for them to fly 37 light years with the technology that was given to them by the Ebans.
It is, you know what? The phrase you said before, similar yet alien or whatever you said, is exactly the way to describe this. Everything you're saying is like...
Your brain's like, okay, I get it, but...
Yeah, but it's totally different from every... What's insane to me is all the other alien things we've talked about. When I hear this story, I'm like, well, this can't be real because of all the other alien things we've talked about, which is making my mind hurt.
I have broken you, Jesse. It's happened 6 years, and your brain's like, well, that can't be real because all these other alien things are the real aliens.
Because all these other alien stories, yeah.
You didn't even know it happened, man. I did it.
You got me. This is the long con. You got me.
Episode 250. Oh, it was special, baby. It was a special day today. I'm going to write this in my diary later. Dear diary, Jesse accidentally admitted his brain thinks aliens are real. But only the kind that sounds real as opposed to the fantasy
right,
ones.
The kind that is so futuristic. Like, the problem with this is it seems so of the time that instead of being like they traveled through a wormhole and they ended up in it was like, no. They blasted at high G-force for 10 months. That's crazy sounding.
Blasted at high G-force.
So 12 years of training makes sense. So yes, excitement, apprehension, all mingling in the air as the launch date is around the corner. The astronauts clad in their silver spacesuits bid farewell to their families and loved ones. They know they're embarking on a one-way trip for X amount of time, which we'll get to in a second. A journey into the unknown with no guarantee of return, even if they even say they will be returned. And their sense of duty and thirst for knowledge, though, outweighs all their fears. And in the dead of night, under a blanket of stars, the Eban spacecraft descends upon the designated landing site, and it's a sight to behold. Again, and this apparently is the inspiration for Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's a gleaming silver disk that seems to defy gravity as it hovers silently above the ground. The astronauts board the craft, their hearts pounding with anticipation, and the spacecraft's interior is supposedly unlike anything they've ever seen. It's sleek and minimalist with no visible controls or instruments. The Ebans, with their serene expressions and gentle demeanor, quote unquote, guide the astronauts to their seats. And with the gentle hum, the spacecraft lifts off, leaving behind the familiar world of Earth. The astronauts gaze out the porthole windows as the planet shrinks to a tiny blue marble and then disappears altogether. They are now alone, hurtling through the vastness of space on a mission that will test their courage, their resilience, and their faith in humanity's potential. Two things. Before we move on, I do have a list of supplies that Earth sent them with to take on their journey to the new planet. Secondly, something that for some reason I guess they never thought to ask, because it kind of becomes apparent to them later. They don't know how long they're going for. They just said for a time.
Sure, let's go.
And they would be swapped back. How long do you think they were there for?
I mean, a 10-month trip?
Other than the 10 months, how long were they on planet Serpo?
I'm going to say based on the 12-year investment plus 10-month trip, at least minimum 5, 6, 8 years.
Okay.
I think days.
We got two extremes, 5 to 8 years, days, and they were like 12 years. And all right, it was a nice weekend visit. Go home.
No way.
That'd be hilarious. We'll see. Let's go. We'll see what the answer is.
30 days.
First and foremost, I've got a list of supplies. I'm not going to go through all of them. Obviously, it's a huge list. But this was submitted to the email network on April 3rd, 2006 by Anonymous as posting 18, which is which I imagine means 18th of the 40 that he eventually got. With the following message, which was attached to the person who received it. Victor, the following information pertains to the equipment our team took to Planet Serpo. All of the military equipment was real, at least back then. And by real, Anonymous evidently means that it was operational, like it worked. Evidently, the information was included in the debriefing document. So first and foremost, they got to bring a bunch of music, baby. They brought a fuck ton of music. We got things like Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, the Kingston Trio, Brenda Lee, the Beach Boys, and Bob Dylan, the Beatles. All of these are the Bing Crosby, Dinah Shore, as well as some classical music like Mozart, Handel, Bach, Schubert, Mendelssohn, Rossini, Strauss, Beethoven, Brahms, Chopin, Tchaikovsky, and Vivaldi. And obviously they brought patriotic United States music as well. And Christmas music.
Why Christmas music? Is it like was it supposed to be like the best of what we have? Like, I understand like some of the best composers. I just don't understand the Christmas music. Is it like weird? Like
I don't know. There's no any other holiday music in there.
Yeah, why do we pick Christmas?
That's a weird vibe to me. I don't know why that's the vibe. That's
Simon and Garfunkel.
That makes sense. Everybody loves
trying to bring them was this a covert Jesus operation? Were we
trying to is this like some missionary shit?
I don't know, man. They also brought the last three things for music. They brought Indian chanting music, Tibetan chants, and African chants. These last three for the intended benefit of the Eban hosts, it says in parentheses, which I don't know what the fuck that even means. Then they brought clothing, a bunch of clothes, obviously. We're talking, obviously, their space suits, 220 pairs of socks, 18 hats, 112 pairs of underwear, just to give you an idea of how specific the list is. And it's like a long list. And then a bunch of fabric for repair and stuff. Then they got medical equipment, portable x-ray machine, 100 pre-packed medical kits for advanced trauma care, 1,200 food testing kits because they don't know what kind of food they're going to have after they run out. Yeah, they brought 2 years worth of food, by the way. Like, that's about all they brought was about 2 years worth of food. 10 months journey. They knew they had a 10-month journey there and back. So why only 2 years of food? Giving them 4 months of extra food makes no sense to me. I don't get that.
Where would they store it? If the ship
the alien ship.
How big was
It's a big silver disc, like a big silver disc.
In the fridge? In the fridge.
All right. I mean, look.
Yeah. Okay. It must have been a big disc.
Here's the thing. Also important to know, like these ships, there's something about them that's like they're bigger on the inside than the outside. There's like when
is
people
that specific to this story though? You can't just add alien lore when we've already gone against alien lore. I'm calling you on this.
No, it doesn't go against it. I think Lazar has mentioned it before, but it's in a few others where like they can go into the ship. Humans go into the ship and if they don't immediately feel nauseous, they slowly become nauseous. And there's like the inside is just spatially bigger than the outside of the ship.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. And that's in reference to previous alien lore. Mm-hmm. This is an entirely new story with no evidence that it's bigger on the inside.
Well, that's what they say. They got sick when they would go on the ship and it's bigger on the inside.
These people said that?
Yes, but I'm not giving you the entire book. I'm cutting off a lot of shit. So like, yeah.
Okay.
Supposedly, this is bigger on the inside and they got to bring all this shit on their Eban ship. And again, when people would go on these ships, they would get nauseous because it's just like something about it being bigger. Maybe they move into like a parallel pocket dimension. I don't know. That's like a D&D thing as far as I'm concerned. They've got testing equipment there. You're talking like geological testing equipment, chemistry testing equipment, radiation, military, biology, all kinds of shit. You've also got miscellaneous stuff like blankets, weather balloons. I don't know. They gave them 50 military weather balloons. I don't know why.
See what I'm saying about the weather balloons? There's something going on.
Thank you so much to our longtime sponsor, Talkspace. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is encouraging people to talk it out in therapy. We get it, man. I get it especially. Opening up to your therapist might feel uncomfortable, maybe even cathartic, exhausting, exhilarating. But one thing's certain, if you keep talking or texting with a licensed therapist, you'll gain insights and uncover truths that you can only find in therapy. Trust me, having the ability to have another perspective of somebody who's not in it with you in that same way could really help you see things for how they are. You know, I waited until I was in my late 30s before I was like, maybe I should do therapy, and I'm genuinely a better person because of it. So Mental Health Awareness Month is a huge, huge deal for me, and I really suggest, if you really are thinking about it, just maybe try therapy. Just give it a shot. The worst that can happen is it's not for you, and you move on with your life. At Talkspace.com, you can sign up online and get a personalized match with a provider that's right for you, typically within 2 days. It's incredibly convenient to have virtual sessions with your licensed therapist from the comfort of your home. There's no need to commute to appointments, miss time at work, or line up childcare in order to attend sessions. It's mental health care made easy. Talkspace lets you send messages to your therapist so you don't have to wait for your next session. And therapy can help you shift your perspective, as I was saying earlier. Find tools to cope in difficult times and just be a guiding light for your everyday. So, to celebrate May and Mental Health Awareness Month and the power of talking it out in therapy, Talkspace is offering every listener of this podcast $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com/chill. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/chill to get $80 off your first month with code SPACE80 and show your support for the show. That's Talkspace.com/chill, code SPACE80. Thank you again to Talkspace for sponsoring today's episode. They also were sent with 24 military handguns, 24 military M16s, 6 M66s, 2 M40 grenade launchers, 2 military 60mm motor tubes with 30 rounds, 100 military airburst flares, 5,000 rounds of .223 ammunition for the M16s, 500 rounds of .45 ammo, and a bunch of other fucking shit, tanks of nitrogen gas, and miscellaneous gases for cutting equipment, oxygen. These dudes, they equipped these 12 people for, like, war. And I also don't, I guess if they get there and the Ebans decide to, like, kill them, but I'm like, you think the Ebans would understand that they're bringing military equipment, because it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't,
there, yeah.
It's weird. It's very, very weird. I don't understand. They also sent them with 75 military-style sleeping bags. Again, there's only 12 people.
Does that just mean, like, shitty?
That's a good question. I guess
Military
that's a question
style?
for our military listeners.
Yeah.
Is a military-style sleeping bag good or bad? You would imagine it have to be good, because it would need to be able to handle whatever temperature the soldier has to sleep in. I don't know. Yeah, so there's that. They also sent them... This is where I was like, all right, dude. They sent them with vehicles. 10 military-style combat motorcycles. 3 military M151 Jeeps. 3 military trailers.
This literally is Stargate, is what this is. This is literally Stargate.
Where do they store the fuel? Where's the fuel?
Oh, they got sent with 1,500 gallons of fuel for all of the above items.
Bullshit. That's it. No, bullshit.
I have it right here. I don't have to tell you. It's in the book.
How bigger on the inside is this thing?
Dude, they also got 1 military lawnmower.
What is that?
Stupidest.
What is that?
You know, you gotta get there, and they're gonna make their very first HOA on Eban, and they're gonna go there and Serpo the hell out of that place. Great, good for them.
Serpo.
But the last of this is they got food, about 2 years of food. We're talking sea rations, 25 pre-packed containers, 1,000 gallons of water, 150 military survival food kits, 16 boxes of various alcoholic wines, gum, candy, blah, blah, blah. And then the last bit on the list, it just says miscellaneous items. The team members took 2,000 pounds of various other items that are just not listed. So, you know, couldn't tell you. Other cool things that we got, though, is we actually have specific numbers about Planet Serpo now. All kinds of things. In the third email, it was sent that the statistics of the Eban planet was collected by the team, and this is the data that was given. It's not a lot. The planet itself is 7,218 miles in diameter. It's 5.06 times 1,024 in mass, I imagine weight. We've got the distance from both its suns, 96.5 million miles and 91.4 million miles because it's a binary star system. 2 moons. Surface gravity is 9.6 m per second, meters per second, I imagine.
What's ours?
9.8. So it's 2 less. There's 9.6. So theirs is just a little less than ours. Their rotation period, so a day, is 43 hours for them. And an orbit around their binary star system takes 865 of their days. The tilt is 43 degrees. Temperature minimum 43 degrees with a maximum of 126. Distance from Earth, 38.43 light years. Planet name, Serpo. So there you go. There's a basic rundown of the planet itself. So now you know it's definitely
real now. Yeah, you're right.
Definitely real. Mm-hmm. So they got a literal like fleet of vehicles, military, like just fucking armed to the teeth for 12 people. It's crazy. Yeah, they're inside the ship at this point. They're humming around in space, and they're on their way. Their 10-month journey off the planet to Serpo. The journey to Serpo was unlike anything the astronauts had experienced in their training simulations. The Eban spacecraft, powered by an unknown energy source, traveled at a speed that defied conventional physics. Time seemed to warp and bend around them. The stars outside blurring into streaks of light, which is just hyperspace from Star Wars.
I'm into that.
What?
That should be real. I'm glad to hear that's real.
I bet you, yeah. If you do have to, they would have to blur. I would imagine. After what felt like an eternity, the spacecraft began its descent toward Serpo. As they peered through the porthole windows, the astronauts were greeted by a sight that took their breath away. Serpo was a world of stark contrasts. The vast desert stretching towards towering mountain ranges, 2 suns, one larger and brighter than the other, hung in the sky, casting a perpetual twilight glow over the landscape. And the spacecraft landed softly on a vast plain, kicking up a cloud of dust. The astronauts, eager to explore this new world, donned their protective suits and stepped out onto the alien soil. The air was thin and dry, the gravity slightly lighter than Earth's, but the most striking aspect was the light, which was a constant subdued glow that bathed everything in an ethereal luminescence. The Ebans, who had remained silent during the journey, for 10 months, the Ebans didn't fucking say anything, by the way. They fucking dead silent.
What does that even mean?
I don't know how. I feel like I would go insane.
Yeah, like, what? Wait.
They had 12 of them. The 12, so they had the 12, so they existed. But the Ebans just did their things and kind of ignored them.
The Ebans that
flew the ship
were supposed to guide them?
The Ebans that flew them from Earth to Serpo essentially just stayed quiet the whole journey.
Oh, question then. Did EB1 stay on Earth?
No, he went home.
But he didn't say nothing to the people that he convinced to go with him.
I apparently not. So I imagine maybe
if I was one of the Crystal Knights, I would have been freaked out that this guy was like, yeah, come on, we're gonna take you back to our planet. And then maybe that's what it'd be like if I said, hey guys, let's go get lunch. And then we got in my car and I was silent the entire time and just drove you in a direction you didn't know.
The other thing too is like publicly, the government dissolved their public identities of the team members so that like they were just going by 3-digit numbers for a very long time. And that was known as being sheep dipped. So all the 12 members were sheep dipped.
That's a good phrase,
which is very bizarre. Again, there's a lot of weird things in prep that I kind of just like. The book is long. If you want to read Secret Journey to Planet Serpo, it's about 300 pages. And there's a lot in there. And it starts with like Nazi bases and like Project Paperclip taking them on and all that shit. But it's like, it's insane. They also talk about in the memo that they learned of an interesting incident that occurred after the aliens had been taken away. The military retrieval team decided to enter the craft. Remember when I told you that they walked in and felt like sick when they walked in?
Yeah, sure.
One person described very specifically that when they stepped into the spacecraft, it felt like they were on a rocket ship to hell.
What the hell does that even mean? Like it got hot?
It just like they didn't feel good. I don't know what it means. That's just what he said. And I just thought it was an interesting quote that I forgot to tell you, and I wanted to tell you. That's all I got on that. There's no details. He does not extrapolate. Okay. He doesn't go further on any of that shit. So they're on Serpo. Yeah. I couldn't find it very quickly what I was looking for. So, oh well, too bad. So these guys who remained mostly silent on the journey, if EB1 was there, I would imagine he maybe spoke to them. I would hope he did. Regardless, as they step out of the spacecraft, they greeted the Ebans greeted the astronauts with a series of clicks and whistles, their faces conveying a mixture of curiosity and warm welcoming. Boys, can you give me a rendition of what you think that sounded like? put you on the spot. All right. So one's just chewing tobacco.
I was trying to do weird ASMR, but like that's the best I got.
Yeah, a little munching noise. All right, well, that is. I hope everybody who's listening to this feels like they just stepped on to Planet Serpo themselves. That they're.
I love you guys. Thank you.
The human team, armed with their rudimentary understanding of the Eban language, responded in kind. Their voices echoing across a rather barren landscape where the ship had landed. The Ebans led the astronauts to a nearby settlement, a cluster of low-lying buildings carved into the rock, and the architecture was noted as simple yet elegant, blending seamlessly with the natural environment. The interior of the dwellings was surprisingly comfortable, with soft furnishings and a warm, inviting atmosphere. And over the next few days, the astronauts began to explore their new home. They ventured out into the surrounding desert, marveling at the strange planet life that thrived in the harsh conditions. And they observed the Ebans going about their daily routines, their movements graceful and efficient, which is the exact opposite of how they're described in every other encounter with the Grey, where they're robotic and awkward. I just think of Betty and Barney Hill when the alien didn't know what to do. The Grey didn't know what to do with the zipper on her dress and was just like awkwardly like
just vexed. Yeah.
The astronauts even got to sample the local cuisine, a strange concoction of unfamiliar flavors and textures. It was all we really got out of it. It was a time of, for them, they were in the honeymoon period. It's wonder and discovery, overwhelming, a chance to witness a civilization that had evolved along a completely different path than humanity's. The astronauts were filled with a sense of awe and humility, realizing that they were mere guests in this alien world, eager to learn and understand its secrets. The initial wonder of arrival soon gave way to the realities of living on an alien world, however. The astronauts, despite their rigorous training, found themselves facing a multitude of challenges. First, the thin atmosphere made breathing difficult, and the constant exposure to the binary sun's radiation required them to wear protective suits whenever they ventured outside. That fucking sucks. The 43-hour Serpo day disrupted their circadian rhythms really badly, leading to sleep disturbances and disorientation. And the food, while nutritious, was bland and unappetizing, causing digestive.
Surely 10 months in space would have changed any circadian rhythm they had.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. There's so much that I'm like holding back right now.
Yeah, no, let it
There's
out,
other
homie.
me's holding me back, but please continue.
Yeah, you would think it did, but I wonder, maybe the ship was like tailored to be to the comfort of humanity, so that when those, when they took them on, they didn't, weren't immediately.
That explains why the aliens weren't talking. They were pissed off. Like, we got 10 months of this bullshit.
10 months of this goddamn nonsense.
I get it now. I get it. Never mind.
Yeah, so the 43-hour day threw them off. The food was bland and gross. And despite the Eban's friendly demeanor, communication remained a barrier, hindering their ability to fully understand the alien culture. However, the astronauts persevered, driven by their curiosity and determination, and they established a routine, dividing their time between exploring the surrounding area, learning the Eban language, and documenting their observations. They set up a makeshift laboratory analyzing soil samples, studying plant life, and even attempting to communicate with local fauna. Over time, they began to make progress. Their language skills improved, allowing them to engage in a more meaningful conversation with the Ebans, and they discovered underground water sources, easing their concerns about hydration. They even managed to cultivate a few earth crops, adding much-needed variety to their diet. As their understanding of Serpo grew, so did their fascination with the Ebans' way of life. They observed a society that was communal, peaceful, and technologically advanced. The Ebans had no concept of money or social hierarchy, instead valuing cooperation and harmony. Yes, Jesse?
Dude, I wasn't going to say nothing. You stopped yourself. I'm going to get a message, Jesse. You keep interrupting his flow.
No, this is me. I'm letting you. I'm inviting you.
I just want to put out there to any scientist. We have a lot of actually like really smart people who listen. I just want to ask this question.
So thankful. Thank you for keeping us in check.
In a world where you are double sun radiated to the point where you can't go outside without a suit.
Double sun.
How and where do you grow earth crops? Just going to put that out there. That's my question that I have to ask. How do you grow earth crops? That's it. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at
the sun, bro. The sun just does it.
2 suns,
sunglasses,
highly radiated.
That's like a bonus in a video game.
Just put sunglasses on the seeds, bro.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, blue light filter.
Calm down.
Like maybe radiation won't affect it.
Gunners,
but then aren't you eating radiated plant? Look,
well, they're technologically advanced. Okay. And they did set up a temporary lab. So maybe they were growing the food in the lab where it was away from the suns.
Like Matt Damon in The Martian.
Yeah, when he pooped in the potato.
Damon. Right, yeah.
Yes, exactly like that. See, we're figuring this out.
He did that, and that was real.
That was real, 100%. Yeah, over time, they were making progress. Language skills improved, allowing them to engage with the Ebans more. They got water, etc. And as their understanding of Serpo grew, so did their fascination with the Ebans' way of life. They observed a society that was communal, peaceful, and technologically advanced. The Ebans had no concept of money or social hierarchy. Their technology, while not always comprehensible to the humans, was clearly far more advanced than anything on Earth. The astronauts witnessed marvels that defied their understanding, transportation devices that levitated effortlessly, energy sources that harnessed the power of their suns, and medical instruments that could heal injuries and diseases with astonishing speed. They were given access to the Ebans' vast libraries filled with knowledge that spanned millennia. Despite the challenges, though, the astronauts felt a growing sense of connection to this alien world and its inhabitants. They learned to appreciate the Ebans' simple yet profound wisdom with their respect for nature and their unwavering commitment to peace. They began to see Serpo not just as a mission objective, but as a second home.
That's delightful.
A place where they could learn and grow as individuals and as a species.
It's like Avatar. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
However, their time on Serpo was not without its tragedies. 2 of the astronauts that succumbed, that went on the journey, ended up dying. One, as far as where it seemed like it was just an accident, like they were working on a piece of machinery and they just got an accident. The other one got sick and was unable to recover, and they died, which makes no sense because they did say that they have medical things that could heal diseases and injuries very easily. But maybe humanity is, human biology is not what their shit's built for. Yeah, so they lost 2 astronauts to this journey, and it was a stark reminder to them of the risk that they had undertaken. But even in grief, they found strength, and they honored their fallen comrades, vowing to continue their mission and bring back the knowledge that they had gained to Earth. They knew that their journey was not just about the exploration, but the constant thing they looked to, which is a brighter future for our species. As time passed, they realized they weren't sure how long they were supposed to be here. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months, months turned to years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years.
Stop.
What the hell?
And it wasn't until 13 years of living on Serpo.
One more year.
Would they finally go home? Yeah, one more year.
What made them... Wait, what made them...
What are they going to do?
Like, what made them say, now we're going home?
Well, it seemed like that was the time. That wasn't their choice. The Ebans were the ones that were like, okay, you're done. All right, let's go home. Because they said you were going to do an exchange for a period of time. They didn't get a period of time. And then the Ebans were just, when they said that was enough, like you were here enough, they took them back to Earth.
So the Ebans
yep.
on Earth stayed here for 13 years?
No. The Ebans went back with the Serpo. The people from Earth lived on Serpo for 13 years. And then after 13 years, the Ebans were like, okay, time to go back. People on Earth had no idea if they would come back. They were not in communication.
Is that how long we had EB1?
No, EB1 left with them and went back to Serpo.
No, but I mean, like, how long do we hold?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to was it 13 years?
It was 11 years for EB1. They was with us for 11. From the crash to 19... No, he was with us for longer than that. Hang on. He was crashed in 1949. Project Serpo was 5 years after that. And then they did 12 years or 11 years of training. So he was with us for about 17 years.
Jeez.
I mean, all right. Like, I guess it really doesn't matter in the end. I'm curious why they were like, time to go. Wait, so 2 people, maybe a person died and they were like, you guys got to go home.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe the deaths were like, Ebans like, you guys have to leave now. But apparently, the Ebans had grown fond of their human visitors, but were preparing to send them out with a farewell ceremony filled with bittersweet emotions. The astronauts, their hearts heavy with both gratitude and longing, exchanged gifts and promises of future contact with their alien hosts. And after a long ceremony, they boarded the ship, what was rest of the Serpo 12, and began their 10-month journey back home. The Eban spacecraft once again defied the laws of physics to traverse the vast difference between the 2 worlds in a matter of months. The astronauts, weary but exhilarated, watched as the familiar blue marble of Earth grew larger in the porthole window. Their arrival back on Earth was shrouded in secrecy, of course. The government, fearing the public's reaction to the news of extraterrestrial contact, orchestrated a covert operation to retrieve the astronauts and sequester them in a hidden facility. The returning 7 were greeted not with fanfare. Returning 10. Sorry.
Holy
returning
Jesus.
10. Huh?
I was about to say,
What
hold on.
What happened to those other guys? Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of other people died, by the way. No, the returning 10 were greeted with not with fanfare, but with isolation and intense debriefings. The astronauts, forever changed by their experiences on Serpo, struggled to readjust to life on Earth. They had witnessed wonders beyond imagination, encountered a civilization vastly different from their own, and experienced the loss of 2 of their comrades. Imagine if this was real, leaving an Earth that's like Cold War, Vietnam War, war-torn, moving to a utopia of just peace and harmony for 13 years, and then coming back to Earth and having to be like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, take me back, please. I don't want to be here. I'll live in a radiation suit, please.
I would go live in like a geodesic dome in the middle of the woods at that point. Like, fuck that.
Yeah. Just painting your walls of memories of Planet Serpo. Yeah, they were intense debriefings, changed forever, seeing the amazing shit that they saw. And over the next few years, the astronauts would slowly share their knowledge and experiences with government officials and scientists. They provided detailed accounts of Eban culture, technology, history, filling volumes of classified documents. They brought back samples of alien plant life, recordings of Eban language, and even a few artifacts of their advanced technology. But their journey had taken a toll on their health. The prolonged exposure to Serpo's radiation had caused a variety of ailments from chronic fatigue to organ damage. One by one, the astronauts were slowly passing away, their bodies weakened by the extraordinary adventure that they had gone on. Their legacy, however, would live on. The knowledge they brought back from Serpo sparked new avenues of research and development, pushing the boundaries of human understanding.
Who could ask for anything more?
The seeds of a new era of technological advancement were being sown, and the possibilities seemed endless. The return of the Serpo 10, to Earth marked the end of an extraordinary chapter in human history. They were heroes, albeit unsung ones, even to this day, whose daring mission had pushed the boundaries of exploration and expanded our understanding of the universe. In the secret facility where they were debriefed, the astronauts recounted their experiences in meticulous detail. So that's how, like, we supposedly have like a really deep understanding of these people locked away somewhere. They shared their knowledge they had gained, the insights they had gleaned from the civilization far more advanced from their own. But their tales were met with a mixture of fascination, skepticism, and fear. The government, while intrigued by the possibilities, was also wary of the potential implications of revealing the truth to the public. The Cold War was still raging, and the idea of alien contact could easily be weaponized or exploited. And so, the story of Project Serpo was buried, hidden away in classified files and whispered about in hushed tones in the corridors of power. The astronauts, sworn to secrecy, lived out their lives in relative obscurity, their extraordinary experiences forever etched in their memories and nothing more. And in 2005, decades after the mission's conclusion, an anonymous source calling himself Anonymous began leaking information about Project Serpo online. He claimed to be a retired government employee with inside knowledge of the program. His emails, filled with details of the accounts and alleged evidence, sparked a renewed interest in the Serpo story. And the information provided by Anonymous was met with both, people who fully bought in and believed, and also everybody who, spit on it and said it's dumb. Some saw it as confirmation of the long-held beliefs. Others dismissed it as a hoax or disinformation campaign. Regardless, Project Serpo is one of the more obscure but still relatively powerful topics in UFO lore. There's still a good chunk of people who believe this is real. But you might ask, did anything dramatic happen? Nope. They came home. They quietly died of old age. The government has all the secrets that they said, and that's all we know. And that is the end of Project Serpo.
Thank God.
Questions?
So we just stopped. Did we stop talking to them? Are we still
They
best
went home.
buds?
They're tired, dude.
We don't know because
they crashed
we
out.
don't know. I imagine we might be. We must still be in contact with them, but nothing else has been leaked, so I don't know.
It's real weird because it wraps up. Like, this is a story that ends.
It just ends. Yes, it just ends. It just ends.
There is no and we have been working with them ever since. It's like everyone involved dead. Everyone who has any knowledge of it gone. The aliens on their home. We it's just wrapped up.
Yep, just wraps up. Presidents are informed on it to this day. We supposedly, I'm looking at like there's a 1981 briefing as well for President Reagan, who was being read in about all this stuff. We have like here. I didn't read through this, but here I'll have you boys. This will take us out here. Here we go. There's 3 parts in this. Oh God, it's so long. No, we're not gonna. This is so fucking long. No, never mind. Fuck that. It's 6 pages long. I'm not doing that. It's so long, bro, and it's all a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, fuck that.
One of the quotes is, "Okay, this is just amazing." That's Reagan, by the way, who said that. And amazing is all caps.
Okay, this is just amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But that's it. Like we had this exchange program, and as far as we know, everything else is locked down. The government's hiding it from us. Project Serpo, everybody. Definitely not made up by a person having a lark in 2005, firing off this information. And it actually took, it took to a certain level. It became part of a lot of people's beliefs. So, boys, final thoughts on Project Serpo before we're out of here.
Man.
Questions? Anything I can answer for you?
We first heard about this what year was the like the emails are from 2005 and they were like being published in real time or what?
Yeah. So there was a website that is up now that's been yes, it's been basically being uploaded on the internet since 2005, pretty much like straight away. It's projectserpo.org, I think is the website. Serpo.org. Sorry, Serpo.org.
Serpo.org. Great. Beautiful website name. What I want to do is draw a line from this story to show how it has reverberated through pop culture and stuff. But really all the lines are through like other better stories and just lead to Serpo, which is just kind of
and
like
also because this was released in 05.
That's what I mean.
The lines come from the movies first and then to this.
Yeah, the word, that's exactly what I'm saying. The word I want to say is just kind of like pastiche, sort of like cliche.
Yes.
That's the only thing that's unfortunate about this. Like, I love the premise of like these emails, and I love the idea of it being like a meta narrative that's like released over time. I think that's awesome. Why did you go with such a generic story, man?
Right? Like, why couldn't you have like made it more exciting? Yeah. And the thing is, if you read the book, The Secret Journey to Planet Serpo, he has so many just like, he's like, here's a reference. Here's what this means. Like a lot of just, what do you call it? Index and footnotes, but none of it really does anything. Like it doesn't add or actually clarify anything. It's just like, he just like explains like what the area looked like more in a footnote. Like it's just like useless. But you can go find it online, super cheap. It's like $13 if you want to read it. Feel free. If you're a UFO guy like me, it's at least worth having in your book collection just to have it because it's just one of those books.
What is the name of this book again?
Secret Journey to Planet Serpo.
Okay.
Got a problem?
I'm very, very interested in there is a guy, Richard C. Dodie,
yes.
Former security guard, the Air Force Special Investigations Unit. Apparently, this all came out right before a book came out.
What year? It might be Secret Journey to Planet Serpo.
2006.
So that happened right after the emails were starting. So yeah.
This is like right. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to read through this wiki.
Hey! How dare you figure out this is a grift? Okay, no. Secret Journey to Planet Serpo published date was 2013.
So this is apparently it all started in 2005 with an email from Request Anonymous to a mail list, ufology mail list, claimed to be a retired government guy with top secret. Like everything you said, investigation believes that Anonymous is Richard C. Dodie, and this is because he was trying to hype up the book that I believe is about this exact same
That would
subject.
make sense. Richard Dodie.
I'm literally like reading Wikipedia's right now, trying to figure out like what the background information is, because that's a story right there. The book is called the book published April 21st, 2005. Is called Exempt from Disclosure by Robert M. Collins and Richard C. Dodie. And it is... this is a thing. I don't know if this is exactly about the same story, but it's interesting.
No, but here's my insane thought. Because Dodie, I know the name, and he's one of those guys who's like a little bit, I would consider reliable for the most part overall. But there is in my research for Project Serpo, the idea that this is actually a misinformation like book to combat Dottie's release of his book, to just muddy the waters and just make it look more insane. So whatever he's saying just looks fucking crazy because this is coming
That's
out
so
at the right around the same time. That yes, I've heard that before. So like,
yeah,
it's wild.
To people who know better than me, please let me know.
This?
I'm straight up just reading a wiki right now, trying to get more info.
The government would be one, but like the Pentagon being the one that's trying to like muddy the waters. Well, we do know that the Pentagon obfuscates all the fucking time, but like, yeah, I don't know. I can't. There's no way to prove that this is misinformation. It just is interesting because the Dodie book has nothing to do with Serpo.
Sure.
It's a lot more. His book is a lot more. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, it's a lot more about like propulsion systems. Alcubierre warp drives, wormholes, space-time bubbles. It's like more about the potential scientific ways of how they do this and stuff.
And admittedly, this is the exact this is again
the opposite.
So different from what the other information you have for the last 249 episodes been talking about. That I'm like,
come on,
I already don't believe any of this because
it doesn't fit. So, even the stuff that's leaked out of the government.
Do you think the truth is going to be more similar to the lore, or do you think it's going to be? Like when we finally,
I think if I was a betting man, my guess is that what we're dealing with, if we were to say it is something else, otherworldly or whatever, it's probably closer to the indifferent attitudes that they seem to have toward us. This idea that they're not nice to us or anything like that. They more treat us like wild animals or captured, whatever. It's more neutral. I think that's closer to the truth than Project Serpo is like. Fucking hand in hand, let's go to Zeta Reticuli and live on their planet for 13 years.
Fair enough.
Sure.
Fucking crazy to me. But it's a hilarious story and I love it. That wraps up this week, boys. We're going to have to go do a mini-sode. Next week, we talk something that's a lot more potentially real. The Travis Walton abduction is one of my favorite.
That's so exciting.
Scenarios. There's like 5 people involved. It's not just one guy. It's a fascinating story.
And the movie's worth a watch. Should they watch it before or after?
Yeah, I mean, either or. You don't need to watch it at all. In fact, if you'd rather get the actual story first, listen to the podcast, then watch the movie, because the movie obviously fictionalizes some things for the sake of entertainment. So yeah, up to you, but you can do either or.
Vibes.
But that's it. Thank you guys again. We will see you next week. We appreciate it. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Anyway, me and my wife were sitting outside indulging on our porch one night, enjoying ourselves. I needed to go to the bathroom, so I stepped back inside, and after a few moments, I hear my wife go, "Holy shit, get out here." So I quickly dash back outside, and she's looking up at the sky in awe. I look up too, and there's a perfect line of dozen lights traveling across the sky.